Good evening to all present here and welcome to the last webinar event of calendar year 2022. This year was of highs and lows and we all must agree that there were more lows than highs. But in spite of this, we have made it till here and we have many more years to come. Chief Investment Officer Mr. Sunil Dabania would be highlighting the key events that shaped the market during 2022. Towards the end, we'll also be having a Q&A session. Drop in any queries you have in the chat box available just below the video. Over to you, Mr. Sunil.
Thanks a lot. And last day, as far as the webinar goes for 2022, thank God it's over. I think that's the big relief we should all have, because from day one, I think we had one problem or other to tackle with. And market across the world was extremely volatile. We had Ukraine-Russia crisis. In between, there was a fear that China may invade Taiwan. China and India border disputes. Higher inflation across the world. Crude oil price surging, creating a big problem for a country like India, because we import huge quantity of crude oil. And somewhere in June 2022, there was a complete scenario which would suggest that market would further go down. The only satisfaction that MarketsMojo team has is that we have been able to guide you extremely well in 2022. Whenever there was a crisis, we came in front of you. We inform you that what needs to be done. And classical example is not so long ago, last Friday, where Mohit and I were there in a power series asking you people not to panic. Remain calm and composed and you would definitely see returns being made. And this Friday, that is in just 5 trading sessions, the complete mood has undergone change. I can tell you with a lot of confidence, while the overall market is down today, most of our investors' portfolio is in green. And that's what should have happened throughout the years. It has not happened. I agree with you. But how the mood changes is a classical example. So in this present webinar, I'm going to discuss about what are the events that took place, how the market behaved, how various assets class behaved, how Indian market performed vis-a-vis other markets of the world, which are the company which emerged as a winner and loser in 2022, and so is the case with sector, and then how institutional investors behave, how IPO market behave, and what are the major highlights of 2022. On Monday, that is on 3rd Jan or 2nd Jan, am I right? I will be discussing about the equity outlook for 2023. You would happy to know that the prediction that were made in 2022, many of them are dot on. Whether what level Sensex and Nifty will close by end of 2022, which I predicted on the 3rd Jan 2022. Okay, what level will close on 31st December? And I will play that video. We also suggested what could be the bottom level for Nifty. We also predicted, and correctly, that in first half we will not make money, but whatever gain that we are going to make will happen in the second half, and that's exactly what has happened. I did mention how value strategy will outperform the good growth strategy, which was not the case. And it was a little contra call that we have taken. We also predicted how inflation will keep bothering market in 2022. And the same line I'll be giving away some of my view. How do I expect 2023 to play out? Of course, one should always take prediction with a pinch of salt. Why? Because they may turn out to be right or turn out to be wrong. But based on my ability and capability, I will be making an attempt on Monday. So I'm not going to discuss anything about how do I see market in 2023 in this webinar. It's more of a summary because human memory is a little short. We don't remember what happened last month. Forget about what happened in the month of January 2022 and so on and so forth. So maybe this webinar is to summarize what has happened in 2022. In fact, next week I'm also going to do a webinar about the learnings that we can learn from the 2022, which we can imbibe in our future investment journey. So that webinar also I'm going to do next week. So next week is a powerful week in the sense a lot of content we will be there. Monday we are going to discuss about outlook. Tuesday the Mojo stock that entered. Wednesday the learnings from the market from 2022. Thursday Jason is going and doing a webinar, and Friday I will come in front of you with the question and answer. So with this, let me start with my favorite slide, disclaimer. Okay, this webinar is only for an education purpose. Whenever you invest in the equity market, it does carry a little higher amount of risk, and past performance should not be construed as an indicator for future returns. So what happened in 2022? Zyada gum, kam khushi. So if you remember, the last year Sensex this time closed at 58,254. And then it struggled to reach that level at least till August 2022. In terms of closing I'm talking about, not this one. Except March where we saw 58,569. Otherwise, market was struggling to do that. And of course, we went from 58,000 to 50,921 intraday in June 2000. So almost drop of an 8,000 points in the Sensex in 6 months. And then market formed bottom, and we have recovered very, very smartly. But despite that, only 5 months out of 7 months, market closed with the green monthly gain. More often than not, market was closed in the red. If I have to further summarize this, if you remember, I had stated very clearly कि पैसा फर्स्ट हाफ में नहीं बनने वाला है, नहीं बना. Why? Because first half market went down. 0.5% in first quarter positive, but minus 9.5% in the second half, second quarter. And total overall first half we lost money. But from July, the Sensex went up by 8.31%. July to September quarter and October to December quarter further 6% up. But for the year, we are closing with 4.4%. So कुछ ज़्यादा पैसा नहीं बढ़ा. Let's be very frank with you, and also showcase you how mutual fund perform in 2022. It's a tough year. Lot of gain was purely because of the second half of 2022. Now this slide gives a lot of idea about what was the sentiment throughout the year. The advance decline ratio clearly shows what has been the buoyancy in the market. But कहीं दिखाई नहीं दी वो buoyancy throughout the year, except 2 months in July and August, where advance decline was more than 1%, 1.2%. Otherwise, market literally struggled even to have an advance decline ratio of 1. And due to that, the more company declined in 2022 than advance. So despite we are seeing 4.44% gain, advance decline ratio is not positive, which clearly says that large cap did well as compared to small cap. Now let's look at what happened to the overall market cap. We closed at 266 lakh crore, December 2021. We went down to 2.43 lakh crore in June 2022, and as I speak to you today, is 282 lakh crore. In other words, we added near about 16 lakh crore to the overall market cap in 1 year, which is near about 6.8% increase. But mind you, this will not reflect in the indices for the very simple reason. A lot of companies also got listed in 2022, which were not part in December 2021, and that also explains the difference in the market cap of this one. But overall market cap went up by 6.8%. If you ask me, as compared to GDP, the growth has been little lower, and that doesn't make me worry about the future. Why? If the growth in the market is much faster than the GDP, nominal GDP growth rate, then it's a cause of concern. यहाँ पे तो 6.8% increase हुआ है, so it's not a cause of concern. One casualty of the poor market sentiment has been a average cash volume on the NSE. Now, if you go back to 2021, the average cash volume was 69,633 crore. So almost 70,000 crore tha. Not a single month in 2022, it crossed even the average. Forget about the highest. जो average था वो भी cross नहीं किया. That clearly gives an idea how poor sentiment was on the cash market side, and that would definitely reflect in some of the numbers that are going to come out from the brokers also. For the full year, if I have to take the average of the way we have 69,000 crore for the 2021 average, 2022 was only 56,000 crore. Not a very happy sign. And in a way, it was an annual decline of 18% in cash turnover of this. And that clearly explains that how retail investors slowly seems to have moved away from the active trading. And one reason could be that offices have restarted, businesses have restarted, and people would have gone back to their normal routine, and that's why they are less active on the stock market. Which index perform, and I must admit it has come as a big surprise that PSU Bank is one of the best performing sector in 2022. 70% jump. Despite global crisis, despite China slowing down, metal index is up by 21%. And Bank Nifty is up by 21%. I must admit here, I did not expect Bank Nifty to do well in January 2022, and it has come as a big surprise to me. In fact, on the contrary, I was expecting it to underperform, but the fact is that it did extremely well. BSE IT or Nifty IT has been one of the worst performing, down by 24%. Even Pharma has come under huge pressure, 11.4%. And small cap is red, while mid cap is marginally up. Sensex is up 4.4. Uska 25% gain ही है mid cap में, and small cap is down by 1.8%. In other words, whatever the gain that we are seeing in the overall, there was no rally in the market. Let's be very practical about it. And only few stocks really help market to close in the red. Which company did extremely well in Nifty 50? Adani. Always you will see Adani Group company in last 4-5 years as a top of this league, and that's what exactly has happened. Coal India. You know why? The coal prices in the world in 2022 is up by 138%. And if the coal prices goes up, we all know what happened to the coal India. ITC जो कितने सालों तक चला ही नहीं. It is also our Mojo stock and stock of the month. And see, remember, MarketsMojo identify ITC at the right time, up by 52.1%. Mahindra purely because of the new management, new CEO coming in, new SUV, it did extremely well. Axis Bank is another story, IndusInd Bank another good story, State Bank of India and ICICI. So among top 10, 4 are from the banks. And for a change, even public sector bank did well. SBI is up by 33%. On terms of worst, can you imagine company like Wipro could lose 45% in 1 year? आप लोग जो बाय एंड होल्ड स्ट्रेटेजी लगाते हैं ना, उसकी बात कर रहा हूँ मैं. Take Mahindra, another good quality company, 43% down. In 1 year, 43% and a large cap is too big. But yes, it is down. Divi's Lab, if you remember, we closed Divi's Lab maybe same time last year. You people call me mad, you call me pagal, and someone to basically put on my social media handle, इसको अक्कल नहीं है फार्मा सेक्टर कैसे चलता है. I remember those kind of comments. The fact of the matter is down by 27%. It was definitely not a year for IT companies. HCL take down by 21, Infosys down by 20%, TCS down by 12.9, and so on and so forth. And BPCL, which was a candidate for the disinvestment, ultimately government have decided not to go ahead with it, was down by 14%. If I expand that list and now look at Nifty 500, definitely you see a lot of PSUs in this. So Mazgaon Dock, Fact, Bharat Dynamics, which is also a stock of the month, am I right? Did extremely well. Bank of Baroda did extremely well. Varun Beverages did extremely well, which is also a stock of the month. So in fact, in a way, if you look at it, some of the companies which are our stock of the month or a Mojo stock, they are featuring under top performer, and we should take a pride of that. At the same time, Lux Industries, we asked you to get out in January 2022. Why did we ask you to get out of? Because of a corporate governance issue. That company is down by 55% in 2022. And someone did ask us, are you not little harsh to get out of closing even stock of the month Lux Industries? We said we are not. And the fact of the matter is that it's down. Zomato is down, 197 is down, which clearly suggests that this was not the year for growth stock. This was not the year for. People were not in a mood to pay rich valuation. Let me put it this way. And they have all come under heavy selling pressure. Company like Brightcom Group lost 73% purely because of some corporate governance issue surfacing. And some of you people were asking me about Brightcom. And we did advise at that point of time to stay away. Even though our score was buy, we did not make it as a Mojo stock, and we did not buy in our model portfolio also. Luckily, we did not buy because the scrip is down by 73. Now, the point I wish to convey, whether you look at Nifty 50 or you look at Nifty 500, the best performer in both the Nifty 50 and Nifty 500, we had recommended either as a Mojo stock and stock of the month, or in our Mojo Infinity portfolio. But none of the company in our was performing. And I've time and again said it is not stock selection that creates wealth for the investors. It is a stock rejection that creates wealth for the investors. And I'm happy that our stocks rejection has been so powerful that none of the worst performing company we had, of course, Lux was, but we advised you to get out in January 2022, only beginning of 2022 itself. And rightly so. The beauty with MarketsMojo is that it tells you when to exit and when to buy and when to exit. And that's one of the reasons investors make money through MarketsMojo. How did US market perform and how did Indian market perform? Well, all three leading indices of the US are in red. And for India, both Nifty and Sensex close in the green. And if I have to convert this into dollar terms also, Indian market outperformed the US market, even in dollar terms. I distinctly recollect some of you had asked me about investing in a Nasdaq ETF last year. My advice was against investing. Had you invested, you would have lost very handsome 33% of your capital in the Nasdaq ETF. I think I'm happy that you listened to me and my advice, and I hope you have not invested that. How did the India perform versus the world market? In fact, I must tell you, you can see more indices in the red and very few in the green. And of course, India is in the green. This was definitely not a year for the equity investors. 2022 was definitely not the year for the equity investors across the world. फिर आप वियतनाम देख लो, which is getting a benefit of China plus one policy, or Russia for the obvious reason, Sri Lanka, China, Korea, that is South Korea, Taiwan, Poland, New Zealand, Hong Kong, Sweden, Japan, Euro, our neighboring country, Pakistan, Germany, France, even Tadawul, that's Saudi. They're all in the red. But Indian market is the second best, or maybe not the second best, but third best after Turkey and the Brazil. And that's the power of why is the Indian market did very well. India की story है, India का पैसा है. And that gave lot of resilience in this volatile market. I distinctly recollect previously people used to say, अरे US नहीं चला तो India नहीं चलेगा. And one leading expert, he boasts very thing about, somehow he basically, it gives me impression he does dislike, he's an Indian but he dislike India. बहुत negative comment करता रहता है India के बारे में. And for him, I think it's a good wake-up call for him that let's look at what happened. India is an outlier in the global uncertain world. तेजी में सब लोग तेजी करता है, लेकिन मंदी में तेजी करके दिखाए ना, that is called a class, and that's what Indian market has done. How did the commodity price? And I must tell you, commodity price was extremely volatile. बहुत difficult year था. First half में scarcity थी, price went up substantially, but second half lot of prices came down. The coal, I was saying coal India, look at 138% change in Y-on-Y. December से 31st December करोगे आप, nickel is up by 45%. Natural gas, no brainer. Why no brainer? Because Russia और यूक्रेन का क्राइसिस हो गया, created problem. Soybeans is up 14%, Brent is up, sugar, wheat, they're all up. In fact, with the climatic, because of this global warming, things are going to get little more worse for the agri commodities, and we need to be very, very careful. But tea prices were down by 3%, palm oil was down 11%. That's a very good relief for India because we do import a lot of palm oil, and it also is inflationary, which is down. Copper was down by 14%, aluminum, naphtha, zinc. I was talking about the metal index is up, but uski jo underlying commodity hai, they are all down. HRC steel is down by 48%, rubber is down by 27, 26, 20, cotton. Once upon, like in 2020, at some point, we thought that cotton price will further surge. But look at what happened. It's down by 27%. If you are a coffee lover, you should be rejoiced. Why? Because coffee prices are down by 26%. So both tea and coffee prices are down. And I think it's a very, very volatile year. I'll comment how do I see 2023. on my Monday webinar. Gold is back in demand. 14.3% return it has made in last 1 year. Very silent performer. किसी को पता भी नहीं चला होगा कि 14% रिटर्न बना है. But having said that, silver did extremely well. 16.1% gain silver gave in 2022. So in hindsight, if someone was to have said gold or silver में पैसा डाल दो पैसा बनेगा, it made lot of money for you. For that, I have taken SBI FD. In last January, the FD rate on SBI for 1 year was 5.1%. So that will have made money because I'm not looking at debt funds because वहाँ पे आपको mark to market आ जाता था because of rate of interest moving up. Equity, we made near about 5%, that's a nifty return. And I have taken, for real estate, there is a National Housing Bank compute a index called Residex. This is an India company which is up by 7.4%. I must tell you this 7.4% is from January to September. They have not disclosed, they have not released yet December. They release every quarter. So this data is not available. So clearly, I think gold and silver has been the big story there. Really surprised everyone and created good wealth for the investors. This is in rupee terms I'm talking about. If I compare equity with dividend yield, then it performed better than debt. Why? Because dividend yield normally is only about 1.2%. So my overall return would have been 6.2% kind of stuff. So capital is 5% plus 1.2, 6.2 ho gaya. But debt only gave me 5.1%. So I think equity did better as compared to debt fixed income. But mutual fund has been disaster. I must tell you that. Why am I saying so? When you look at the complete equity funds managed by mutual fund industry in India, the largest category is flexi cap. I repeat, the largest category, because ultimately आपको 100 रुपया तो 100 रुपया कितना रुपया था 16-17% managed by flexi cap. Only up by 0.5% category. This is I've taken from Morningstar and the data is of 29 December. आज का लोगों शायद और खराब होगा. The NAVs will start coming in. The second biggest category is a large cap. कितना पैसा बना 4.1%. Did they outperform the Nifty 50? The answer is no. And the third biggest in terms of assets under management is a mid cap. कितना पैसा बना 2.2%. In other words, mutual fund did not create any wealth. Now you may argue with me, अरे मैंने तो इसमें पैसा डाला था. Agreed. So there will be some fund that must have done well. This is category average. मतलब जैसे Sensex is also category average because some company within the Sensex is given higher returns also and some is given. But Sensex is now, this is a category average. This category average has clearly underperformed significantly in 2022. तो आप सोचते हो कि म्यूचुअल फंड में पैसा डाल के पैसा बनता है. Here is the classic proof कि पैसा नहीं बनता है. Which are the best and worst performing IPO in 2000? Of course, Adani has to be in the list, am I right? So Adani, Hariom Pipe, Venus Pipe, Patanjali Foods, Vedanta Learning, Vedant Fashion, and so on and so forth. They are this. And some IPOs have gone down by 63% from the IPO price. Delivery 32%, Uma Export 31%, Abans, which just recently got listed, 28%. The most famous and most awaited at that point, LIC 28%. Inox again listed recently, Dharmaraj again listed recently, Landmark again listed, Sula, Keystone. Some of the worst performing IPOs got listed in the last quarter of 2022 and they did not create any wealth. In fact, one IPO that opened today, we also suspect it would have very similar kind of performance by the time we will in December 2023. It should either top the list in terms of worst performing or among the top 10. Total 38 IPOs got listed, of which 24 are in profit. how did the FII behave? And I think FII has been a completely, this was a tale of two halves, I must tell you. Till June, उनको बेचता था market से. And in second half, they came back strongly. But not as much as strong. Overall, it's down by 1.21 lakh crore. They sold. On the other hand, our Indian investors, the institutional investors, bought 2.7 lakh crore. तो जितना FI ने बेचा उससे ज़्यादा, उससे डबल DI ने ले लिया. How is India performed? Did extremely well. This is Y on Y growth. Look at this Y on Y growth. Excellent. Only except in September, which is down by 0.8%. Of course, December numbers will start reflecting, will start coming in by the next week or so. How did the Mojo stock perform? पैसा बनाया नहीं बनाया. Total 100 Mojo stock entered in 2022. Again I repeat, that entered in 2022. तो 1st January 2022 से अब तक जो बने total 100 companies बनी है Mojo stock. 56, despite the overall market was volatile, 56 companies are in positive. Advanced decline ratio is not positive, but Mojo stock advanced decline is positive. 44 companies did go down. But I always keep saying कि जब मोजो स्टॉक पैसा बनाता है तो बहुत तगड़ा बनाता है और जब गवाता है तो कम गवाता है. And the proof is that maximum return given by Mojo stock is 118%. The stock that entered in 2022, that was vinyl chemicals. And of course, TCNS clothing, it became a Mojo stock, moved out in 1 month or so, 29% down. Very interesting is that, assume that you invested throughout the year equal amount in all Mojo stock. Your return would have been 4.4%. This includes the Mojo stock that entered in the month of November and December also. Many stocks got entered, am I right? Despite that, the number is 4.4, it looks very decent. Why? Because when the moment you annualize, return would have been much, much higher. So I'm happy to inform you that despite volatile market, more number of Mojo stocks made positive returns and average return was 4.4%. Does not include any dividend income. How is the valuation? Has it improved or deteriorated for Indian market? I am happy to inform you it's not deteriorated, it's improved. Why? In December 2021, the BSE 500 PE was 26.53. As I speak to you, it has come down to 24. तो अच्छा हुआ. Look at price to book value. It was 3.38. It came down to 3.27. तो वो भी अच्छा हुआ. And look at dividend yield. Dividend yield was only 1.05. अभी 1.28 है, which is also good. So all three parameters, the valuation of Indian market has improved and not deteriorated. तो जब कोई आपको आके बताता ना, कोई एक्सपर्ट सुनते हो ना कि वो इंडिया का वैल्यूएशन बहुत महंगा हो गया है, उसको ये स्लाइड दिखा देना. भाई बता भी कैसे वैल्यूएशन महंगा हो गया है. It is not. On the contrary, India's valuation is much better as compared to 31st December 2021. Am I right? And these are hard facts data. Which business house made more money? No surprise there. Adani, followed by Ambani. It was not a year for Tata, I must tell you, because TCS lost substantial, almost 12%, and that also reflected in overall market cap of Tata Group, which declined. Bajaj also not a great year. Aditya Birla is not a great year. Murugappa Group did extremely well, 55,000 crores. See, look at the size of the company, and I must tell you that we have considered only those company which has more than one listed company as a group. Otherwise, doesn't make sense to consider a group which is not a group actually. So that's what has happened. Now, what is the summary? Okay. So just to summarize based on the data so that, you people, it sink in your mind what has happened in 2000. So recapture very quickly. Challenging year. Most investors lost money in 2022 or made money less than bank FD. Whether you are a mutual fund investor or an direct investor, you have not made money or you made money less than bank FD. Mid and small cap did not do at all. In fact, it was a much challenging year. Despite that, India was among the best performing markets in the world, third best. Challenging tha, फिर भी India was among the best performing. IT sector did not do well. In fact, it is down by 26%. PSU Bank is at top of the table, and rupee coming under heavy pressure due to dollar strengthening, crude surging, FII selling. This is all compounded problem for the rupee, and on the top of it, Fed kept on hiking rate of interest. India performed extremely well. The data is showed. The tax collection has been really robust, whether it's indirect or direct, throughout 2022. And RBI raised 225 bips rate hike in 2022 from 4% repo to 6.25. They've taken it. While Fed hiked the rate of interest by 425 bips rate. One key highlight is I must tell you that rural economy was extremely weak, and that did impact FMCG and consumer durable company. Monsoon did create some uncertainty. Why? Because first monsoon got post for a very longer period of time. It did make up with 106% of the long period average. But there was an unseasonal rain, there was excess rain, and there was a heat wave. That all impacted food grain production and especially wheat output. The estimate from the Ministry of Agriculture is that India would have a kharif production, which is normally you sow during southwest monsoon, would be 6.2% lower than the previous kharif season, which is not a very happy sign. I've been informed that Rabi crop is happening very well. Let's wait and watch what happens there. If you remember last budget also, we had a concerns, and something similar will happen January 2023. अभी से बता रहा हूँ आपको. Capital gain tax. There was a fear that government will tinker with the capital gain tax, and market did correct very substantially. That did not happen. On the contrary, budget में कोई नया tax आया ही नहीं. But post budget, government did reduce excise duty on petrol by rupees 8 per litre and diesel by 6 rupees per litre. And of course, government, to control inflation, did impose windfall tax and put some export duty so that India does not face problem of inflation. FIIs did sold very heavily, and overall they sold 1.21 lakh crore. In fact, after 2018, this is the first time FII were net sellers. They were net positive in 2019. They were net positive in 2020, which is the COVID year, and so is the case with 2021. But overall, they बेच के चले गए. Retail investors have shown a great or exceptional maturity. I must hats off to you people. They remain committed to the equity as an asset class. And due to that, if you look at the SIP inflow, was very consistent throughout the year. In fact, this is the first calendar year in the history of Indian mutual fund that every year SIP was minimum 10,000 crore. Every month. Not a single month we have seen less than 10,000 crore ka SIP, which shows how disciplined investors have become. And I must take some credit there also. We must take some credit. Why? Because we have been suggesting you people to be disciplined to create the wealth from this one. 2022 was not definitely a year for the global economic outlook, was extremely weak. China faced lot of problem because of its zero COVID policy. Russia-Ukraine crisis created a lot of issues on supply side, creating havoc for across the world. Indian economy did extremely well, and I must give credit to the RBI and the government of India. They did extremely well. IPO market was very, very subdued purely because of poor sentiment on the secondary market. LIC after many wait did go, and it was most hype in what we call IPO. I must tell you, we did advise you not to go for the LIC IPO, and it closed or it listed below offer price and continue to remain below the offer price. Some of the new age companies, this was not the year for new tech or startups. I must tell you that. I'll come to some slide little later also. Company like Paytm, Zomato, Nykaa, PB, FinTech, all Policy Bazaar that is, they all came under heavy selling pressure. They lost big way the money. The complete startup world has a very challenging time because the funding has stopped substantially, and many startups have asked their employees to leave. This is not happening now. This started happening somewhere in the month of April or May. So things have become worse for the startup world. India's overall market in 2022 increased by 16 lakh crore, and Adani, as I told you, is the best and Tata is the worst. With this, I have concluded my presentation, but before I conclude and hand over to Jason, we are closing our Christmas offer in next 48 hours. What is a Christmas offer? You pay 26,999 for 2 years and you get 1 year free. And the icing on the cake is that we are launching our mutual fund transaction in January 2023. If you subscribe today, that mutual fund transaction will be free of cost for you. So the advantage with this is that now you can, through MarketsMojo, you can directly invest in any mutual fund scheme of your choice. We do rate mutual fund, am I right? Due to that, you don't have to pay, your expense ratio will come down drastically. Why? Because you are not going through the agent, but we are going through directly. And you would save near about 100 bips on your expense ratio. Number one. Number two, you don't have to pay any additional amount to MarketsMojo for buying and selling mutual fund. This mutual fund transaction is included in a part of your package. So on even though you pay for 2 years, 26,999, you get additional 1 year free. That means you get 3 years instead of 2 years. Can I request Jason to please drop the link and let's open the floor for question answer. Over to you, Jason.
Yes, I'll drop the link just below the video. I'll pick this first question by Mr. Virendra. Good evening, Sunil sir. Hope you are doing well and please stay safe. Could you please explain the meaning when the market falls suddenly and quickly to a large extent? People used to say that there is something that the market is discounting. I wanted to know that how market knows to discount anything related to future, because market is run by people and people know about news, then only selling will occur in the market. Still people say that market knows something that we don't know. Please could you help me understand this concept?
So, hi Virendra, good evening. Thanks for your wishes. Yes, we all need to stay safe because COVID could hit us, not as badly as what has happened in second wave, but please play safe. I agree with you. We all need to, and a lot of you people will celebrate 31st night. Please follow the COVID protocol so that I don't want anyone to fall sick in the new year. Now, when you say market fall suddenly large, see, I think the market sentiment has always been a little, what we call, volatile. If for 3-4 days if the market goes up, everyone talks about positive things. And if 3-4 days the market goes down, everyone will turn negative. So sentiment is always very, very, keep changing based on the mood. Market, see, what you're saying is that market discount, which sometimes the market knows, sometimes market doesn't know also. Why? Because sometimes the fall that you see is not because of the something new. So because of some panic selling happening that could result into that. So I always say, don't go by week to week, month to month. Look at the fundamental side of the economy. If there is no change in the fundamental side of the economy, one should not panic at all. Remain calm, remain composed. That's what you should be doing it actually. Am I right? But to short term में किसको पता नहीं है. It's like, it's more like in the short term market is a voting machine. In the long run, it's a weighing machine. And I think we need to all look forward to weighing machine. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, this question by Mr. Chaitanya. US and Europe will go into recession in next 3 months. Nifty will come down to 16,000, 16,400. What's your call on this?
Chaitanya ji, I don't think we will see 16,000, 16,400 for Nifty. In next 3 months, I don't think so. US and Europe, I don't think they will go into a recession. My sense is that they will somehow be able to manage. They will stay away from the recession. So I don't think they are going to go into recession. That's what my sense is, Chaitanya. If at all they've gone to recession, they would have gone already. But 2020, I don't think they will go into recession.
Okay, moving to this next question. This is by Mr. Frank. For your information, I live in Canada and I actively invest in the Indian market. Whatever gain I made in 2022 due to depreciation of Indian rupee and exchange rate, it has swiped out all of my gains. Do you think it's still worth investing in Indian market?
Yes, sir. So I did mention, even if you convert this into the dollar terms, Indian equity market outperformed the US market and I think Canadian market also, because T6 was down by I think 18-19% if my memory serves me right. T6 was down, Canada. Is it not that Canada? I did. S&P T6 was down by 8.2%. So if assume that rupee depreciated by 11% or something in 2022, तो 104 डिवाइड माय उसका 11% मैं निकाल दूंगा तो कितना होगा? जेसन 104 का 11% is what? Jason, very quickly, yeah.
I actually didn't get why I was not paying attention.
Okay, let me just calculate. It would have been 92 points, so it's about 7-8%. The Canadian market is down by 8.1%. So I think more or less the same kind of money you would have made in dollar terms. That's what my sense is. Frank, I would request you to please attend my webinar on Monday, where I'm going to discuss about my outlook for 2023. And there I'll discuss in great detail how Indian market should perform in 2023, which market cap should perform, and that will give a lot of idea. But my request to you, it's worth investing in Indian equity market, even in dollar terms.
Okay, this question by Dr. Garg. Hi Sunil, what was the reason for sudden slump in market today?
Garg साहब पता नहीं क्या था. In fact, I've been informed that yes, it was down. I think the fag end of, I think, but mid and small cap were in positive. Am I right? They were not down. That's what my understanding today. पता नहीं. एक मिनट. Let me just see 1 second. Yeah, mid and small cap were not down, but yes, large cap was down. Sensex was down suddenly. I think market went down post, I think, 2 p.m. Yes, you are right. Post 2 p.m. market went down. But you don't, I think maybe some profit booking, something, I don't know, because of month and year and maybe. No idea, sir. No idea. Dr. Garg Saab, I never bothered to look at the market during intraday mein kya hota hai, kya farak padta hai. If you remember, my request to all of you, please listen to our webinar of last Friday. Why I'm saying so? Because you will be able to understand context, because the event, what did we advise you on Friday and what the sentiment is today. Completely see it. At that time you would not have appreciated what we have said, because you would have taken our comments with the tons of salt, not the pinch of salt, tons of salt, because तुमको लगे तो बेवकूफ बना रहे हमको. But look at this, what we predicted, that what did we advise you? That's what happened. So don't get too much bothered, Dr. Saab, with intraday gain or loss. It hardly matters. We are not here for intraday. We are here for creating wealth for the medium to long term. So don't get too much worried. I don't have any answer, sir. To be very frank, I don't know why it has fallen also.
Okay, this question by Rajiv. Hello Sunilji, why IP could get only 2 stocks out of the top performing BSE 500? Is IP missing out on many opportunities to grow? I also need to thank you for your guidance through these webinars in such volatile market, helping in minimizing investor losses.
Sir, जो top 10 में 2 तो आए हैं ना. I know, ideal situation we should have got 10 out of 10.
No, I think he's saying 2 out of 500 stocks. I'm not sure. Top performing BSE 500 stocks.
No, तो सर मैंने जो टॉप परफॉर्मिंग टॉप 10 ही दिए थे उसमें. There are many stocks which have come, but I have not included in this. तो आउट जो व्हाट में 10 दिया था राजीव जी, उसमें 2 तो है, एंड जो वर्स्ट में उसमें से हमने निकालने को बोल दिया. So in a way we did aggregate. See, remember, Rajiv ji, you need to understand that we will keep doing webinars to guide you to navigate this volatile time. But equity is all about non-linear returns. Some years you don't make money, and years you make money, you make so much money that it will take care of your underperformance of the years where you have not made money. So don't look at that way. And and see, it was very difficult year. Maybe though Anna in top 10 itself is a very big thing. Am I right? So that's the thing. And ultimately, in a portfolio, few stocks create a lot of wealth for you. Not all stocks will create wealth. I must tell you that also. But our IP, ideally, I would love to have all top 10 stocks coming in as a best performing firm based on our IP. We keep improving our IP, but I doubt we will ever have 10 out of 10. I would say that not because of our power of IP, but it could be purely because of our luck. I would be happy if we get 5, 6 also right. In fact, that happened. 5, 6 were there in 2020, 2021, where out of top 10, 5, 6 were part of Mojo stock in those years. But this year, we got only 2.
Okay, Mr. Rajiv has asked your opinion on the future of Yes Bank.
See, a lot of the supply is going to come post March 2023, and my sense is that there could be underperform that. So there could be some story coming up because they would need some buyers so that they can sell this quantity. And if that's going to happen, I think Yes Bank can underperform. That's my personal opinion, not MarketsMojo opinion.
Okay, I'll pick this question by Shine. He says, Warren Buffett wrote to shareholders in 1987, "In my opinion, investment success will not be produced by arcane formulaic computer programs or signals flashed by the price behavior of stocks in the market. Rather, an investor will succeed by coupling good businesses judgment with an ability to insulate his thoughts and behavior from the super contagious emotions that swirl about the marketplace." What's your suggestion about this, Mr. Sunil?
So, Mr. Sain, you are right. I'm not aware that in 1987 what he wrote. But you look at 1987, was there a computer there at that point of time? The answer is no. Was there an internet? The answer is no. I think, and he gone on the record saying that I will never invest in tech stocks, and then he invested in Apple. He invested in Microsoft. So it seems that he has also changed his opinion about the technology. And 87 was asal make us say mobile phone bhi nahi the. Am I right? So we are talking on an era where the technology itself was in a in a basic form. So I don't think Warren Buffett would stand by this statement as we speak. And if that is not going to happen, then why do we are discussing also? If you remember, just Google search, sir. Since you are a very big fan of Warren Buffett, he had made a statement that he will never invest. He doesn't understand technology, so he will not invest. But he did invest in Microsoft, he did invest in Apple, which shows that he has changed his opinion about tech stocks in last couple of years.
Okay, this question by Ashish. Good evening, Sunil sir. There are many banking stocks on the Mojo list. Is there upward movement or events in the banking sector now?
See, our IP always suggests that the sector that should do well is always get reflected by. So we don't have any view on the sector, but our IP does select the stocks from that particular sector. If more companies come from that sector, it does give an indication that that sector should do well. But I have said time and again, my personal opinion is not so bullish. So as those Mojo stocks are there, those who are holding in the portfolio, please continue to hold. Don't go beyond that basket and venture out and invest. You may not make money.
Okay, this question by Vineet. He says 2022 concluded with no Santa rally this year.
Very unfair to say, sir. Why I'm saying so? Because in last 1 week, the small cap index is up by 6%. Mid cap is up by 4%. And the Nifty is up by almost 1.68%. So, Vinit, then Santa rally normally happens post 25th December and goes on till 1st or 2nd Jan. So, yes, it's not a big rally, but it's a positive rally. That's what I would say.
Okay, I think a lot of investors are asking this question, this one by Nitin. Do you know the reason for Turkey outperforming so handsomely this year?
I think the reason, so it's a little surprising actually to me also because that they suffer from very high inflation, and I think the inflation came down drastically. If my memory serves me right, let me just see the inflation in Turkey. I think that came down, and that really helped Turkey to do well. Let me see if that's true or not. 1 second, Turkey inflation, yeah. No, the inflation has been high only. So no idea, sir. I am not an expert on Turkey's market, but I have no idea, sir, why it has done well. But the fact is that yes, it did extremely well in 2022. Maybe I'll just find out why Turkey did well. I don't have any ready-made answer for this, but let me Google search. Maybe we'll to find something.
Okay. This question by Sham, he says, to make money in equity market, most important things are: 1 is right stocks, 2 is entry at right time, 3 is exit at right time, and 4 could be right diversification. I feel MarketsMojo is doing well on 1, 3 and 4, but can't say the same thing about 2. Your comments, please.
So, sir, I will not like to agree with you. We are doing right. 1 is right, 2 is also right, 4 is also right. I think what area that we are working on is 3. Exit at the right time. I think that's where, Sam, we are working on it and will improve. If you look at it, in recent past, we exited some of the stock at profit without disrupting the prices. And we take, and something similar will happen. So yes, you are right, 2022, we were little trailing in terms of our exit strategy. And I think that's where we improved on. So, in 2023, you would have seen we would be ticking each and every box right, 1, 2, 3, 4. But 2022, I would say, if one area as a CIO I would love to improve upon is not 2 but the 3, the point number 3. And we have really worked very hard to improve now the point number 3.
Okay, Mr. Sunil, that's it with the webinar session for today.
So thanks a lot, my dear friend. I wish you a very happy New Year in advance. Of course, I'll come to you on 2nd Jan again with you with my Equity Outlook 2020. I would ask all your friends, family members, if you really wish to have an insights about what we expect 2023 to pan out. I must tell you, I'm not taking a boasting about it. But I must tell you that we have a very strong track record in terms of prediction. You look at our 2020 prediction, you look at our 2021 prediction, you look at our 2022 prediction, and I'm hopeful that our 2023 prediction would also be very much on bang on. Let your friends and relatives also get the benefit of this prediction, and I request all of you to please come and join me. We have last 48 hours for our subscription, 26,999 for 3 years. Why 3 years? Because 2 years plus 1 year additional free. Plus you will also get free mutual fund transaction, which will save at least 1% of your expense fees. So if you are, suppose if you are investing 10 lakhs, 10 lakhs ka 1% is what? 10,000 rupees. And that you can save every year, year after year, and you don't have to pay anything extra to MarketsMojo for that. So I'll request again my colleague Jason to please drop the link so that you people can avail the benefit. With this, once again, thanks a lot everyone taking time out and attending. Thanks a lot, Jason, for hosting this webinar. Over to you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mr. Sunil, and thanks a lot everyone for attending today's event. We have covered many webinar events, topics and Q&A sessions this year. Hoping to see you all come out for the events in the future as well. Goodbye and have a great year end. Thank you so much.